Hey everybody, this is CK, and this is episode 1 of the Rec Room.
CK, how you doing? What's new?
I'm doing well. Nothing. Well, there are definitely things new, but nothing new. New job at a company of which I will not mention because I don't know if this is being recorded right now or if you're just asking me.
This is being
general.
recorded.
It is.
Okay.
So you don't want to say.
Job. I'm not going to say what it is.
That's fair. Wait,
you
hold
can
on.
know.
Hold on.
You know what it is.
I don't. Hold on. More things to cut. Cool.
Oh. Yay,
Well,
better edits.
That's awesome. Congratulations on the new gig.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Have you been enjoying it so far?
I have. Yeah. It's the industry that I'm in is the first industry that I was in out of college. So it's kind of like coming full circle.
Radio.
But, yeah.
Yeah, over
Back to the basics. Yeah.
She didn't.
I didn't hear what you
catch
said. What did you say?
I said radio.
Radio?
Yeah, you're the first industry you were in.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yes, that too.
I remember.
I've had 3 hours. I've had 3 hours of sleep.
That is, yeah.
Mind is still at LAX at 3:30 in the morning.
You didn't end up taking a nap?
No, I tried, but then it just kept going.
Where are you coming in from?
Oh, she
What's
dropped
that?
off her sister.
Where are you?
No, I dropped off.
You want to drop me off at LAX? When I have to go there?
What day?
Wednesday night.
A Wednesday night.
For the day before
What
Thanksgiving.
Oh my
Oh
god.
boy, no.
Let's go.
Now that I know what day, definitely not. Hard pass.
It'll be great.
No.
No.
If it was on the way to, in the morning, yeah, because it's right back in my office.
Fair.
But,
She's
right.
not going to go
not at
to
night
you
and not on the night
then
before
back.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Come on. There's it's going to be
No.
fine. It's easy peasy.
I'll call you an Uber.
Ooh, I'm okay with that.
She didn't say she paid for it.
Why don't
She
you
said
ask?
she-
said she's gonna
Why
call
don't you ask? ET said he'll do it. He said he loves taking people to the airport.
I never said that. That's
We
my
talked about this earlier today.
least-
He said
that's
he said
my
he will
least
drive
favorite place
30
to
minutes
drive.
east of him to go 30 minutes west
I
of
would
him.
never do
Any day
that.
you ask.
Nope.
Any day.
All of the days.
All of the
None
days.
of the days.
7 days a
0
week.
days.
364.
Through-
He's got to have one day of rest.
yeah, New Year's.
New Year's.
Yeah.
There you go.
So what? Yeah. So I just found out that you're going to be on a little bit ago. Are we talking about anything in particular?
Same.
No, I just forced her on.
He told me the same.
I was just forced her on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's
He
fine,
did.
I guess.
He's
Just
like,
shoot
so
the
you're
shit.
coming? And I was like, sure.
Sure.
Sure. Why not?
Why not? Yeah, he was like, oh, CK's gonna come on. I was like, hell yeah, is she gonna come here? He's like, probably Zoom. And I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
I hate doing Zoom shit.
See, okay, and that's what I told him. I said, does Ryan only want me to do it if it's in person? And he's like, no, he'll be fine either way. It come to find out, A, you didn't know. I knew it. B, you don't want the Zoom way.
Oh, it's. I mean, at the end of the day, it's fine. I'm happy to hang out with you one way or the other, so it doesn't really matter to me.
We just have 3 mic stands. And
Yeah, we just had 3 mic stands that we hardly ever get to use.
Yeah. So I'm using the second one or the middle one because easier for the camera.
Mic 3.
Yeah, mic 3.
I feel like you guys have guests pretty often, though. No?
Not really.
Frankie.
Well, in person we had it was you, Kat, Melissa, and then we had Becca.
Meals of Steel, Mike.
Well, that was on Zoom.
Kyle.
Kyle was on Zoom. Mike was on Zoom.
Yeah.
Was
You
Becca
were-
the doctor?
No, Heather.
Heather
Yeah.
was in person.
Oh.
And then we had you on
Yeah.
Zoom, the first time.
That was it.
Yeah. And I'm still working on a very special
How's
guest
that going,
on my.
by the way?
I'm not. I've gotten one.
Is this
What's up?
the South Park guy?
No, we wish.
That's Eric. That's Eric's wet dream over here. That's not gonna happen.
well, no, my wet dream was Dave Chappelle.
That's definitely not gonna
I
happen.
know.
We're nowhere we have no business like
I'm just gonna write him a letter.
chatting with him.
I'm just gonna write him a letter.
I mean, hey, sure, fine, why not?
Wait, who's the special guest you're working on?
That
You can
is,
just
I don't want to. I
can't
don't want to say because it's exciting. And I want to like brag and announce about, like, like officially announce
okay.
it. But it's a musician that I used to nerd out to a lot when I was younger, slash rapper. So I'm excited. Fingers crossed.
Eminem.
It's definitely not Eminem.
Like slash rapper.
It's
Is a well-known
no, not even
No.
not a chance.
musician?
Very niche. You've
Oh, I have. Wait, is it
you can guess.
Weird Al?
No,
No.
that'd be fucking awesome. Oh my god,
I was like, because how do you know Weird Al?
I would have a panic attack. I love Weird Al.
Yeah,
that was
I was gonna
Weird,
say like what the.
Weird Al was my first concert that I like ever went to, and then right before in the before times, I gifted myself and her tickets to go to Weird Al when he was performing in LA, like at one point. And it was like right before he got his Star of Fame.
Oh, nice.
He got a star on the Walk of Fame, and but I bought like VIP tickets, so we got like exclusive shit and like access to like the merch store ahead of time. And then there was like this big like Weird Al trivia game beforehand. Oh, it was awesome. It was so awesome. And Marissa's like, "You fucking nerds."
Did you get the white and nerdy shirt?
No, so it was his. It had a funny name to it, but it was essentially like all of his like B tracks. So it was kind of like, oh, there's a lot of deep cuts. Even like there's a couple that I'm like, ooh, I don't know that I actually know this one. But it was he did a couple songs that were like, you know, fanfare just for shits and giggles. But yeah. A lot of it was like deep cut tracks. It was awesome. It was so good.
Yeah.
Nice.
I didn't even know he was still performing.
Yeah,
like,
homie's killing it.
Like Weird Al, who like I don't know, Tom Green. Like is Tom Green still doing anything? You remember Tom Green?
I hope not. I hope Tom Green's not doing anything.
Yes, the hit or the artist from the known for his hit song, the Bum Bum song.
The Bum Bum song?
Yeah. My bum is on your lips.
My bum is on the Swedish.
The
Swedish.
Yes, the Swedish. Exactly. Yeah, man, Tom Green.
Yeah, after Freddie got fingered, it kind of went downhill from there.
Yeah, he didn't. Yeah. Well, he had his cameo in Charlie's Angels
The Chad.
with Drew Barrymore. No?
I don't remember.
Oh,
Weren't they married for like a hot second too?
I think they
Something
were.
like that.
Yeah.
He was a hot commodity for a moment. Anyway, no, the artist is super niche. You might have heard of him if you. I don't want to give away too many spoilers. So,
But see, now I want to know. Like now, like you have to tell me
Hold
after
on.
this.
Hold on, let me pause it again. Cool.
We pushed R this time.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. No, I was just gonna say, like, on the topic of like negotiations and when people like put prices on services or like whatever the deliverable is, I would agree with you, Ryan, that when someone says like, oh, what's your budget? I'm like, well, how much do you usually charge? Because if I say, let's say I say $5 and they're like, oh no, my price is 100, then I look like an idiot, right? But I'm like, I don't know, like you didn't tell me what your range is for like whatever services you can provide. So I never, not that I never know what to do in those situations, but it's always like a interesting situation. People don't just give me the price they want, because as someone who is a personal trainer, you know, by trade or by profession, whatever you want to say, I don't sugarcoat things. I'm like, this is the rate that I have and we can work it out if it's an issue for you, but this is the amount that I have. And usually people will be okay with it. Or they're like, oh, can we explore other options? It's like, yes, we can. Here are the lower ranges.
Well,
but that whole dance is weird to me.
Yeah.
People are uncomfortable by it and about talking about money, which is, I understand, but it's a little funky. One of the things that I've kind of like learned a little bit is like, at least for me, is it is a very recent conversation I actually just had about like prices and stuff. Cause people will, like, I get people who will ask, and you know, cause by like my going rate's $120 an hour, right? Whether that's high or low, I'm whatever. That's what I charge. And I do like I run off of packages. So I know people will be like, ooh, that's a little steep. I'm like, well, if you want to save money, I'm like, buy the bigger package because it's technically cheaper in the long run. And they're like, well, could you like, because some guy recently was like, well, I'm going to be consistent. Like, can we do anything else? And I'm like, you can buy more than 12 like you could buy more than 112 package if you'd like. I'm like, if you just want to get it done and over with, I'm like, but that's the lowest my rate's going to go. Because it's like, I don't know. It sounds arrogant, but I think it also, I found that I need to, over the years, I've needed to like stand strong in the belief of like what I think I'm worth. Arguably, I think I'm worth more and I probably should charge more money. But I'm done devaluing, like kind of, this sounds arrogant, but I don't mean it to be, but like I'm done kind of devaluing myself by charging less to try and meet the means of somebody else, where I've kind of realized like, yeah, I might be a little expensive for you. That comes with, the almost, 10 years of experience that I have and all of the wins that I have across my career. So you're getting that. It'd be different if I was like just started. I'm like, yeah, sure. But I've been doing it for long enough that I can charge a fairly pretty penny.
I agree. I mean, it's the same thing in my sales departments. Everybody wants an estimate and everybody wants to look at the design. And it's like, okay, well, you got to pay for the design because I put in hours to make that design. And they go, oh, okay, well, how much is the design? And I tell them $500. And they go, oh, that's kind of steep. And I go, well, look, you can give me $1,000 deposit right now, and I'll forego the charge of a $500 design. You get the design, you get the estimate, and we work with you till we finalize the project, but you're signed with us, basically. Yep. They're like, you know what, just give me the free estimate. All right, cool. So when I give them the free estimate, they're like, what does this include? I want to see it. And I go, well, $500 or $1,000. I already gave you your options.
Yeah. No, I think it's 100%. It was funny. We were talking about this. I was talking about this with a client about like art and the value of art. And that's a similar situation where one of my clients is a painter. And he teaches like painting. He's phenomenal. Like I'm going to shout him out once he's got an art show coming up. So eventually I'll shout it out so people can go like see it, and hopefully buy some shit from him. But I've never bought art before. So the very first time that I had the opportunity to like buy something from him, which was of me, I was like, how much? And he's like, well, that's not really how it works. He's like, what would you put it at? And I was at this point, I was like, look, you're my client and also friend. So I'm like, I need to know what this runs. Like, give me something to go off of. I was like, if you're going to charge me like $5,000, I'm like, I can't do that. It might be worth it. I mean, art is one of those things where the value is in the whoever's buying it. But he gave me like a rough estimate of like, he's like, well, and similarly things would run this much. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm like, can I pay you a little bit less than that? Like, and give you like, do it in a payment type of thing. And he was like, yeah, sure. That works. Like, perfect. But like, I mean, admittedly I'm better at negotiating than he is, but, but like when it comes to negotiation, I think that the tricky thing is like, it's a power play, right? If we want to get real into like sales talk. So like you need an answer to like play off of.
Yeah, absolutely.
The art of negotiation and the deal is interesting.
Yeah, 100%. I would agree. I mean, in some situations, like for example, in the current situation I am now, the price is the price set by the company that I work for. So there really is no negotiating on that.
Yeah.
I could tell them like these are the lower options, but that like you're not going to get as much as you would with a bigger. But for example, with my coffee company, right? Some people will want to negotiate. And I'm like, yeah, like, if you want to order more, then we can get rid of shipping because then it would kind of negate everything else. But it's kind of goes back to what you're saying. You kind of want to, it does. Yeah. There's no other way to make it, to talk about it without sounding arrogant, but it's like, this is the value of my labor and of my work and my services. So that's what I would like to get paid for it. And if I keep lowballing myself, like people will just take advantage of that fact. So.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. One of my new favorite clients, all of my clients are fucking awesome, but one of my newer client, who I was telling you about earlier, we needed to re-up on sessions. And I was like, hey, it's time to re-up. I'm like, which one do you want? Like 6 or 12. And he was like, he's like, I don't know. He's like, can you got any other deals for that? And I know what he does for a living. So, and I was like, what do you get paid? And he was like, well, I don't feel comfortable telling you that. I was like, okay, I'm like, sure. I'm like, fair. But I was like, that's fine. I was like, but I'm like, when you're working these like projects, you know, say these international projects that you work on, I'm like, how long have you been in this industry? And he's like, like 6-7 years. I was like, okay. I'm like, you went to school for that too, right? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, cool. School's pretty expensive, isn't it? And he's like, yeah, yeah. I was like, cool. I'm like, I've been doing it for about 10 years, went to school for it. I was like, essentially have done this across the country at this point. I'm like, so you understand why I charge what I charge? And he was like, yeah, all right. Right. But I think it's like with training and coaching, it's a very, you know, it's kind of a service industry to a certain degree.
Absolutely.
And I think
it is. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think people don't quite realize stuff like that. Like,
they can't, they don't understand the interpretation of the value that a coach holds. They see you as somebody who's giving them advice or giving them workouts versus the knowledge that you possess, the experience that you possess, all the stuff that we tally up and we give ourselves credit for and value ourselves. They just see it as another workout routine. So
I would like kind of not entirely disagree with that, but I think it's not that they don't see it the way that we see it. I think they see what we offer them more as like they see a training program that we give them as the same as buying like a cup of coffee or whatever, right? It's like a thing that's given to them that they can take, and they're not seeing it as like, I'm paying you for a job that is your career. Yeah. It's like, this is your hourly rate, you know? It's like, it's the same as if I were to say like, well, do you want me to pay, like you were saying to your client, like, do you want me to pay you like X amount of dollars for what you do like on a daily basis? And they'd be like, no, like this, I want this amount. And it's the same thing, really. It's just we have to do it with every client that we sign on instead of with the company that we belong to. So I think they see it as just a good rather than a job that we do.
For sure.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense.
And I think the interesting part about the sale process with that too is like, it's an interesting mix of like, you know, I do free initial consultations, right? Mm-hmm. I'm very confident in my ability to prove my worth to people, that I'm willing to not charge them. Admittedly, I have very good success as well as it comes with that. So I'm very confident in that regard. But like, I think also when it comes to like, if people aren't quite able to value you, that's also on you. Meaning that you haven't displayed it in a way that connects with them for them to conceptualize like why you are paying this much money. And it goes, one thing that I've learned is it goes a hell of a lot deeper than just like stating credentials, because half the time people don't give a shit. Yeah. I've been with one of these guys for almost 3 years at this point. And he just asked me, because I sent him an email, and he like just asked me, he's like, what are those letters after your name? And I was like, you're just asking now? I was like, and I remember I was talking about this before where I referenced like the CSCS is, you know, my argument is a little bit bullshit. But I was like, the only thing that really does is offer a flex to people who know what it is, because the average Joe and Jane, they might ask, but more often than not, they probably don't care, because they care more so about like, how do you make them feel? Like, how do you make them feel, not just like physically, but also emotionally and mentally? And then like, how do you back up the things that you're saying you're going to do for them? That's really it. So if you can do those, half the people don't give a shit about what your experience is half the time.
It's true. I mean, I would agree. Like, even in thinking now about the clients that I have and the ones that I've had in the past, none of them asked for my credentials. Like, it was more so like what we did together or what they saw me do on my own. And like, sometimes I'd be honest and be like back when I was first starting weightlifting, I would do it at the company I was working for before. And they'd be like, oh, can you teach me that? And I'm like, sure. But like, just so you know, like, I'm not certified in this. Like, I am certified as a trainer, but I don't have a specialty credential and whatever it is. And they're like, that's fine. They're like, I know you know how to do it. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So let's do it.
I mean, to a certain degree, certification, like, I think it's good to go through like a certification process, especially for like training and stuff. But at a certain point, it's more of a legality thing than anything, right? Yes. To be able to now say like, well, I am trained, so therefore I have some education to back something up. So in case someone tries to sue me for some stupid shit, I could be like, well, according to what I know, this would be the best course of action, right? Rather than being like, oh, you're not certified, right, you never actually learned anything. That's kind of ultimately what I think, to a certain degree.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree. And I had this conversation with you, ET, about this, where I'm like, any real, like legit certified personal trainer could teach a CrossFit class without having to be CrossFit certified. But most CrossFit affiliates will not let someone teach a class if they are not CrossFit certified because of the legality and the liability within that.
Well, that's because if you are an affiliate, you like a part of the affiliation is that the trainers are CrossFit, like have gone through the CrossFit L1 process. Because though there is a loophole, in case anyone wants to hear about it, is if you are a certified trainer, you can technically teach CrossFit under the supervision of an L1 instructor. So at a previous gym that I worked at, we had somebody who didn't have their L1, but they were a phenomenal trainer. And so we hired him. And so, like, technically somebody was there watching in some capacity while they coached a class. And it was great. No one gave a shit.
Yeah. But see, and that's the thing too. It's like, there's been so many instances where I've taught CrossFit classes. Until this day, I don't have my L1. But like, half people I know swear that I have it. And I'm like, I do not have an L1. Like, I have just taught several CrossFit classes before because no one knows.
Yeah.
And no one really cares if you can teach it. Well, like you said, make them feel better. You can teach it well.
That's
what else do you need?
You give them a good experience.
Yeah. They don't get injured.
Yeah. That's yeah. Well, here, speaking on the topic of CrossFit, because this is one of the things that I did want to talk about tonight anyway, was
when.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was saying, when don't you want to talk about CrossFit, Ryan?
I like CrossFit. What do you want about me?
There's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying, like.
Well, it's the thing that just keeps on giving. I was listening to a podcast today, and they were saying that to put in a time cap in a workout is a lazy way of creating like a stopgap to essentially adjust for your inability to appropriately coach and essentially tell the members or the clients like the stimulus that's intended. So like if you're forcing a time cap by like writing it in or enforcing it, you've done a poor job at essentially coaching. And I'm inclined to agree with that.
So like
if I'm understanding correctly, you're saying like, not if I program like a 15-minute AMRAP, it's like if I program like a long chipper and I'm like, oh, your time cap is 20 minutes. I shouldn't tell them it's 20 minutes. I should just internally know that it's 20 minutes as a programmed. Like, I would agree.
Right. So it'd be something like, exactly what you just said. Or the example that was given was, okay, we have Fran, and you have a 10-minute time cap.
Got it.
Now, regardless of that being a ridiculous time cap, but to say be more precise and be like, all right, you have a 4-minute time cap. Well, you have the argument that I heard was like that you are artificial. If you have to do that, you are not instilling the idea that like either how to modify appropriately if you know somebody in class can't do it, knowing that this is supposed to be a sprint. Like your goal is unbroken. And so if you haven't conveyed that stuff appropriately, or you have the inability to display or explain that stuff appropriately, therefore you have to put in a time cap to essentially correct any imbalances in like the coaching point, right? It's essentially the whiteboard talk.
That makes sense.
I thought that was an interesting point.
That is an interesting point, because that's been something that's been on my mind a lot lately, where because even in looking at like workouts that I do, sometimes I'll like ask like the coach who's programming mine, like, hey, like what's the time cap for this? And she's like, it's your own time. And to me, like as a former CrossFitter, I'm like, but what would you ideally like me to have this done in? And then she'd be like, do you either want to challenge with weights or do you want to challenge with speed? You know, I'm like, well, you tell me. Like give me the time that you want.
That's not how that works. That's not how that works.
Yeah.
Because it's like, so like when I would program like more CrossFit, like specifically CrossFit stuff, everything had, now I know I am guilty of writing in time caps. So I'll call myself a hypocrite right now, which is fine. But the point of it is that I would generally have some sort of like stimulus in mind. And I know I just recently looked over some of the stuff that I like sent over for Eric a while back in the before times, and like a lot of it, I get like I would even write in like short, medium, long, and then would give like intended stimulus or like goals to be achieved in that. Like now it's a little bit different, right? Because it was personalized, so it's not for a group. So I could be like, I know you can handle 135 pounds, so you should be able to do like do this unbroken or whatever the case is. So. But like the point is that there should be some level of intended stimulus going into any piece of like Metcon that you're doing. And with that, then in turn comes some sort of like understanding of what the quote unquote time cap should be, just by nature of the movements and the stimulus that you're intending. Arguably.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I would agree. And an example that I was giving, like, it's not that she wasn't giving me the example, but it was like programmed for a whole group of us. So when I asked, it was like, I could tell she was trying not to give a straight answer because she doesn't want to influence what someone else is going to do, and so they became like, well, how long did it take you? And I'm like, oh, it took me X amount of time. And she's like, did you do like the RX plus, like basically? And I'm like, no. And she's like, okay, you should have, because you shouldn't have taken that fast to do it. And so she was like, why didn't you choose the upgraded movement? And I'm like, I just didn't want to.
Yeah.
So, and she's like, that's fine, if you don't want to do it that day, it's fine. It's just the intention for someone like me, she's like, would have been XYZ. And I was like, valid, I should have asked before I did it.
Well, I guess it depends on the situation. Like, was this like you just coming in and doing something on your off time, or were you in class when that happened?
Would like ask me that question again?
So what, like when you had this conversation with the coach about the workout, were you participating in a group class, or was this like you were coming in on your off time where there was no class and just asking?
It was exactly. It was after the fact. Because I was like in a time crunch, so I just did it on my own. And then after I did it, I'm like, I felt this way, and is this what you wanted? And it's like, no.
Okay.
So
that part, I think it could be fair. But if it was in like a group setting and they were being like vague about it, then like I think that's a problem.
Yeah,
it's a big ass problem.
Yeah, you should be able to give
it was
specific stimulus to each athlete depending on their level and what's written.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
In a group setting. Yeah.
Well, like I think it goes to say, one, you should definitely know about the athletes in the class. At least know basic information about them, some basic background information. And then two, you should be able to convey the intended stimulus of the workout itself to the class, so that way they can start to conceptualize what it is, right? Like, hey, this is supposed to be like an unbroken workout. And it's like, Larry, I know you can't do the RX weight at, the RX weight, so I'm going to need you to either drop the weight, or like, oh, Kim, I know you, whatever, for the reps is going to be too much. I need you to cut these to 10 instead of 20, right? Or something, right? And also being able to adjust that stuff on the fly, based on kind of what you're seeing, right? And I'm sure all of us are guilty of like having someone stop mid workout and be like, you're going to do this now. You're going to take the weight down, or I'm going to strip the weight off the bar for you while you're on a run. Or whatever the case may be.
Yeah. And they someone will be okay with it. They'll be like, yeah. And someone will be like, why? And you're like, because you're going to hurt yourself.
Yeah, you're going to hurt yourself. You're not achieving the stimulus I want for you.
Yeah. You're defeating the purpose.
Yeah. You're working out for workout's sake versus having a goal in mind.
That's part of the reason why I'm enjoying just personals. So like I think I enjoy them so much more, because I have such a significantly deeper understanding of what the person is and what their ability is in front of me. And then when I'm like planning stuff out, I'm like, I know that this is going to be very, very close to exactly what they need to be doing. And it's not this kind of like somewhat continuous guessing game, because I know everything that they do physically because it's with me sometimes. Yeah.
I would agree. It's funny that you brought that up, because it's something that I was thinking about a lot recently too. Because in the past, like when I was like a baby personal trainer, I did not enjoy personal training as much as the group classes, because I liked the group classes. Everything was the same. It could be consistent. Personals were just like, they were almost more tedious for me because it had to be obviously personalized. And then now that I'm like a more mature trainer, I'm like, God, group classes are so much harder to instruct than they used to be for me because you have to make so many different modifications on the fly rather than having that perfectly prescribed training that is already tailor made for that person, you know? But I mean, that's why certain trainers are hired for certain positions because you have to be able to do quick changes on the fly, at the drop of a hat. So
Totally.
anyway.
Now, question for the both of you: does that time cap issue does that include hero workouts?
No, I think that's different.
That's probably like
I speak more from the sense of like just general training.
Got it.
When you're looking at like a hero workout, and we kind of like AMRAPs, those don't count in this regard.
Because obviously the stimulus is to keep moving for said amount of time.
Just by nature.
Yeah.
Now, I think you can still fuck that up within, but that's a different point. Of course. No, I think hero workouts kind of operate in a little bit of a different sense because they're meant to be. Yeah, they're not really meant to. They're meant to be like struggle fests for a reason.
Okay.
So I don't. Yeah, I don't know. That's an interesting one. What's your take?
That's I mean, in my current classes, I don't program hero workouts or, those like traditional like suck fast benchmark workouts. But in classes that I've taught where a benchmark was given, I would mentally set a specific amount of time for that. I just wouldn't tell them unless they particularly asked. And I'd be like, oh, okay, you want to know how long it takes you to do this workout? A very elite athlete would take 7 minutes, but depending on what your level and ability is, it may take you more, it may take you less, but this is what the stimulus that they're going for. They're going for speed or they're going for, endurance or whatever. So it's tricky. Again, the group settings are so tricky because it's benchmarks or hero workouts are not made for everyone to do. They are made for people who are more elite to do. So you really only have that elite goal marker to give someone, which is why I would argue that I hate whiteboards. Because if you see that someone did 5 rounds, like in your head, you're like, oh, if I don't do 5 rounds, like I suck at it. Or if I did 6, or if I did 7, I'm the greatest athlete there is in this gym. And it's like, not necessarily. Depends on your level of ability, your push, what stimulus was actually the intention, not necessarily what scores people got. But CrossFit is a game of numbers and leaderboards. So there's also that.
I think it's all about how you teach it. Like how do you use the whiteboard, and how do you kind of mold, whether like from the owner down, right, owner to coaches, how do you kind of mold the community in that regard? Because we've been a part of places that like the whiteboard is the live and die. So if you know that your rival in 6 a.m. did it in this, and you're coming to the 5 p.m. class, you better believe this person's gonna die to try and beat them. Now, but that's because the culture that's been essentially harvested. I don't know why that's the word that's coming up, but cultivated. There we go. Farming terms. But that's the culture that's been cultivated. Whereas I'm sure all of us have also been a part of places where it's like you use it as like oh man, yeah, so and so, CK is really fucking good. Like she crushed it. Great job. But I could be like, oh well, Eric's probably a little bit closer towards my thing or my ability level. So I go like, okay, Eric did this. I could probably shoot for that. Maybe beat him, but like that's a good goal setting for me. Or there's also or on that same note, it could also be something where people are like, cool, people did the workout. I hope I do well. It doesn't mean shit. And it's just more of a capture device for coaches as more of a way to capture the intention and see if people kind of got it right.
I agree. That's that is something important that the whiteboard should be taught. How the whiteboard should be taught, or how the whiteboard is taught, is very subjective to each individual gym. Competitive gyms obviously build that competitive nature, breed that competitive nature, and competitive in quotes, air quotes.
Yeah.
And then there are those other coaches and owners who tell you, hey, the whiteboard's not for you to compare yourself to anyone else in the competitive form, but rather to show you what you got, maybe write it down later so you can compare it to your notes later, because At the end of the day, CrossFit's about being better than yourself yesterday. It's not being better than Ryan. It's not being better than CK. Like, yeah, if you guys are friends and you have that friendly competition, that's one thing. But on the majority, for the most part, you're competing against yourself. You're fighting for your own health at the end of the day, and that's what it should. That's what should be taught.
That's what its intention was.
That's exactly.
Yes. Yeah.
Fuck the whiteboard.
I like the whiteboard. It's awesome. I hate not having a whiteboard to stand in front of.
Give me a chalkboard.
100%. I would agree.
What you want?
When I don't have a whiteboard, I'm like,
well, because like
hold on.
the gym that we're at, it's on a TV, and I have to I hate it because I have to look up at the TV and then back at the group, and it's just kind of annoying. Like, I like the ability to be like, here's what we're doing, and just kind of have my hand at it.
Just Vanna White it.
Yeah, just Vanna White it. And talk about it, and then talk to the group as well. And it's just, I don't know. It seems more personal to me.
I agree. It makes it easier. I say fuck the whiteboard, but I miss the whiteboard. I miss being able to write on it and literally stand there, point. This. Got it? Mm-hmm. Good.
Get it, got it, good.
Now get it done. Get her done.
That's where I wanted to go. But with all of those points just made, there's I always get this argument, or have this argument with people where they'll be like, oh, CrossFit gyms are expensive, and I'm almost positive we talked about this before.
Definitely.
But the whole point is everything that we just talked about from a coaching side of the nitty gritty of what you need to be able to do on the fly within an hour with 10 to 15, 10 to 20 maybe different people of different ability levels and ages and injuries and etc. That's all the shit that you got to be able to do. And from a member side, it's very obvious when there's somebody who knows what they're doing versus when they don't. And that is the level of expertise. And I can't, I always stress this. I'm you have no idea how wildly important it is for you to take your job seriously. In a group setting, especially in a CrossFit setting, because of the propensity for injuries. It's so high. A strong majority of people that I will see pretty high ebbs and flows with are people who are hurt from doing CrossFit because coaches can't teach them appropriately or adjust appropriately. So that level of one, danger to a certain degree. Not saying it's dangerous, but there's a chance, right? There's a high chance whenever you start doing anything. Right. Anyway. But then also the high skill level required to be able to manage all of these factors at one time, all at the same time is it's a wild skill to develop. And so if you think about it from just one coach coaching one class, and there's 30 days worth of classes, $180, $200, actually not that bad for what you're getting, in the reality of what you're getting, assuming a good coach. Also, it's not that it's not. Yeah, it's pricey, but it's not that bad.
But yeah. I mean, exactly. If people take into consideration, personal training charges $120 an hour, roughly, right? Versus paying $180 for 20 days a month.
Yeah,
premium, baby.
I would argue, yeah, it's essentially semi-personal training, right? It's yeah. So that is the rate. You're getting a steal. I mean, granted, some places do overcharge, but those are usually places that are in very pricey locations, and they offer ice baths and saunas and free, massages and things like that. So, what?
Something weird just popped up on the computer.
I was like, what?
No, it wasn't you. Yeah.
Yeah, you're all good.
I was like, what was so interesting about what I said?
I mean, everything you say is always interesting, CK.
I try. If the people could hear, I'd be flipping my hair.
Love it. But as an aside, kind of semi-off topic, I won't pat myself on the back super hard. Never mind, Eric's going to do it. One of my girls, she's a fencer, just did this competition in this nationals competition in I'm not going to say where. Did a national competition. And she tied for 17th, which is pretty wild, out of 100 and something people.
That's awesome.
Which put her at rank 16 in the nation.
Oh, shit.
and is
nice.
yeah, and so now she's flying internationally to go compete in like a super high level international competition.
That's pretty badass.
She just like came in today and she was just like, so I like just went on like all gushing. I was like, yes. I was like, yes, hell yes. So I'm super fucking stoked. I was like perfect ending to my day.
That's pretty badass.
Well, work day.
That's dope.
That's pretty bad.
There you go. Shameless plug.
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug. I
To all the
create
listeners
world
out there.
champions.
Well, she's not a world champion.
Sorry, world athletes.
World stage. World stage athletes.
Global competitors?
I would say world stage.
World stage.
Speaking on that whole like world champion thing,
Where are we going?
I don't know if it bothers anyone else, but it definitely bothers me when we call people like world champions when it's really just in the United States.
In the US?
I don't know if that bothers anyone else.
Well, we're the center of the world, so who
Yeah,
cares?
we're number one.
USA. USA.
So,
It's like USA and then maybe the Canada.
it's always USA
You know?
versus the world, right? Like,
Are we talking about CrossFit in particular?
No, well, that too. But I'm saying like
You're talking like baseball,
the
basketball,
World Series.
football.
It's like, is it really the world? Were we competing against the world? We were competing against everyone else in the U.S.
technically, there's a lot of people from around the world that are striving to play in the
Okay.
Major League Baseball.
Well, yes. Maybe. I mean, like Japan has a wildly successful like baseball like program. I mean, people over there are like fucking celebrities. Like they get like billboards of themselves.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I think Singapore has a pretty decent. I think no, they're basketball. They love basketball.
Dominican Republic has good
Cuba,
baseball
Dominican
players.
Republic.
But yeah,
yeah.
but most of like the U.S. players you're gonna see like, or MLB is like a lot of. You'll get like Korea, Japan, but like a lot of like Dominican, Cuba, kind of like the Caribbean like nations, Caribbean, whoever want to say it. But then like homegrown USA people. So I don't know.
I don't know. It just always bothered me. Like the terminology.
I've had that conversation before, and I don't think I let it bother me. I wish they would save that term for when it's like the baseball classic, when it's actually USA versus other countries. Then to me, that's more of a World Series than our series. But then at that point, I don't know what we would call our series, since we've called it the World Series since like
the national championships.
But there's an American League.
Yeah, I know. That's the only other issue. But
I mean,
it always bothers me.
it is funky because it's like, I feel like it's not grammatically, but contextually incorrect.
Major League Baseball Championship Series.
Yeah, it doesn't quite roll off the tongue super well.
World Series just sounds way smoother.
It sounds cooler.
Yeah.
Super
Bowl.
Yeah, right. Like Super Bowl makes sense.
NBA Finals.
Yeah, right. It's like, I think all those.
Can we all agree though that like when the NBA Finals, when there's a world champion, there's really no other better team than Team USA in basketball. So we're technically world champions in NBA and the Olympics.
Did the USA?
I thought we lost in the Olympics.
We didn't win the Olympics this year.
But we have the most winningest team in basketball series or basketball history for the Olympics.
Sure. I think that's a weird thing to gloat about as the country that started, well, arguably started the sport. So having decades ahead of any other country to develop.
Get good, scrubs.
Get good, Philippines.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's the Philippines, right? I'm almost positive it's the Philippines that like fucking love basketball.
Oh yeah.
And they're blessed with being not tall enough to play.
Yes. 100%.
I agree. Yes.
Their tallest player is 5'7".
Sure.
Do they play on night? Like, I'm sure.
I don't know. I believe you. I'm not going to fact check you.
You shouldn't.
I'm pretty sure
don't
that's
believe
incorrect.
us. Yeah. Like our friend said earlier, we are not giving out proper legal advice, or do not take
or
what
proper
we say.
Sports facts.
Yeah, do not proper sports facts. Don't take what we say with, or take what we say with a grain of salt.
I was talking to Brian last night when I was playing some video games, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna play like Rocket League, and he's like, no, just talking shit about sports games, and I was like, I don't know who you think you're talking to. I'm like, I'm not a sports straight. So I'm like, I'm not the person to talk to about shit like this. I'm not one of them.
Wait, so he was trash talking sports games?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
He's like, what a straight person thing to do. He's like, let's play MLB. He's like, let's play an MLB game, and whatever.
I mean, the fact that he knows it's the MLB game, I think you add some straight points to his credentials at that point.
No, he's I think he said he's is it called a platinum gay?
Oh, he's a platinum gay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, or no, he's not. When we went to his birthday party, somebody realized that they were a platinum gay, which is a term for when you've never come in contact with a vagina, so they were C-sectioned.
Oh my god!
So
I was like waiting for like when it was gonna start to make sense, and then I was like, interesting.
So from birth, have never touched a vagina.
So Brian is not platinum.
No, he's not. He's not platinum.
How did I come up with it? Whatever. What an interesting
because the internet's fucking
terminology.
amazing. Because the internet is amazing. Is exactly all. That's all it is.
Honestly,
if that's the only explanation you need, is the internet.
It's the internet just being the internet, just coming up with some wild ass shit, and you're like, I like it. That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else?
Isn't it how like instead of like owned, it's like pwned or whatever, like came from video games, like video game chats.
Oh yeah,
like
pwned.
It was like a typo.
Yeah. Pwned is like circa 2010, maybe earlier.
Honestly, maybe 2006.
Yeah, it was like that's early games.
You got pwned.
Yeah.
Marissa would always make this joke. She's like, when I'm playing, she's like, "Are you pooning noobs?" I was like, "I don't think you know what that." I was like, "Yep,
I'm pooning them."
It's like that meme where like the dad comes in, and he's like, "Hey son, are you winning?" And he's like, "That's not how this works, Dad."
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, video games.
They're the best. I love it. I'm so excited. So we're moving into a 2-bedroom upgrade.
Oh.
We are.
Eric and I.
Yeah.
Yeah. So instead of the house that he currently lives in, we're going to move into a smaller 2-bedroom apartment.
Together.
Yeah.
Perfect.
But we're moving into a 2-bedroom. I'm so stoked because one of the rooms is going to be like kind of like guest office or guest room slash like office. I'm stoked because I like get to get a desk, and I'm all excited about like trick out my desk and have like a legit ass like stream set up now. I'm so excited.
Is that why you want the chair?
Yeah, that's why I want the chair. Because now,
is it a gaming chair?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm getting a gaming desk. I'm so stoked.
Is it a gaming keyboard?
Here's what I'll say about that.
I have a gaming keyboard.
Here's what I'll say about that chair, though. I'll give you that chair. You're gonna need a seat cushion, and a backrest or back support.
It's better than I sit on a folding chair.
No, yeah.
That I like have a towel like very meticulously folded to give me some level of cushion because at a certain point my ass just hurts.
Yeah. Trust me, you're gonna. It might be an upgrade, but not that much of an upgrade.
It has to be better than what we have now.
Maybe.
Whatever. Anyway, I'm so excited. I can't wait.
Same location though, or like same area, or?
Yeah. Just actually, it's going to be the same building, just different, like a different spot within.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm super excited to have like a cool setup.
Gonna make Marissa move everything.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Big things. Everything's coming up Millhouse for me right now, so I'm gonna keep riding this.
Yeah, I wanted to hopefully listen to the podcast you did, or what I heard the topic was on last time, because I didn't want to ask all the questions that you would have answered, but I couldn't listen to it on all of the new exciting things that you're doing with your life.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you can now that you know where to find it.
Yeah. Oh, which is
all of our streaming
for
services.
whatever except Spotify.
Except Spotify, yeah.
Yeah, so you gotta figure that one out.
That was weird. And then when you were trying to do it, it said you weren't logged in, and then you logged in, and it still wouldn't do it.
Oh yeah. I gotta figure that out.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, that last one just like didn't key in. I don't know. Whatever.
Well, that'd be funny. I mean, if this one doesn't key in either, let's sue Spotify.
Yeah, sure. We'll take it to court.
Yes.
What were we just talking about? Moving,
video games, gaming chair. We were talking about video games
for you.
And
I quit my job and am now doing into business for myself.
Good for you. You quit your job. I got a new one.
Everything's coming up Millhouse.
Coleman over here.
Yeah, I've still got 2 jobs. 3. Oh my God, I'm about to start a third again.
What? Oh yes. Yes, you told me this third, the part-time one, right?
Very much part-time.
Yeah.
Oh,
that one.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
The porn.
Yeah. 30 seconds a day, baby. 30 seconds a day.
The fluffer.
Whatever pays the bills.
Whatever pays the bills, man.
No.
Fuck. I feel like I had something else I want to talk about.
About yourself or about CrossFit?
I don't like the tone that you said that with.
That's not okay. Wait, backtrack. Were you going to share more information about yourself? Or, okay, that also does.
Keep going. How many feet in the grave would you like, CK?
2 so far.
I'm just
You're just going to lay down now?
Myself into a hole here. Never coming out.
Yeah, Ryan, you talk a lot about yourself. So any more shit you want to talk about yourself?
Hey, first of all, your bio says cocky coach. So
that's fair.
You did this to yourself.
Yeah. Well, cocky. I equate cocky to opinionated, not necessarily
full of yourself.
Full of myself. There's another word that I wanted.
Yeah.
I almost said self-flatulating, but that's not the right word. Flatulating.
You'd have been close.
No, that's like
confident, maybe.
That's like the self-flatulation is like, those like monks that would like whip themselves and they're like, I sinned, I'm a bad boy.
Oh,
Sky Daddy, man.
I was thinking farts.
Is it
flatulence? Isn't that flatulence? Flatulating? Is it not the same?
The scientific. Wait, no, it's flatus.
Flatus.
Flatulence, but yeah, flatus is the technical term for a fart.
Huh.
Fun fact.
All right, learn something new again.
Interesting. Yeah.
I just
you know what the scientific term for like goosebumps is?
Goose pimples?
Dermal. Am I right so far? Something dermal?
I mean, I can see that word being used with it, but technically, no.
All right, what is it?
Piloerection, because like the hair is like
that's right.
like
yes,
the lie or whatever. So piloerection. Your hairs stand up.
Your hair is being erect.
Nice. You got horny
yeah,
hair.
Your hair's already erect.
Whoa, it's not a sexual thing, Eric.
I didn't make it sexual.
You said horny.
Why does horny have to be sexual?
Because horny implies sexual.
When you think of a horn, what do you think of?
A horn?
Yeah.
I think of
something upright and hard, right?
No.
You don't?
Horns can be curved, spirally.
So can hair.
Hair?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's.
So you made this sexual.
But the term here is about the
horny hair.
Not horny hair. It's about where the hair is inserted into the skin. Has a term, which I'm assuming is like pylorus or something like that.
Something like that.
Or no, that's a bacteria. That's about pylorus is a bacteria.
Don't say it.
You don't want pylorus injected into you.
But it's the
it's the hair follicles are called pili.
Hyali? The sport hyali?
Pilus is derived from the Latin for hair.
Perfect. See. So it's the point at which the hair is attached to the skin or within the skin, not the hair itself. So the hair itself is curly, but the hair was not what gets erect. It's the follicle itself.
The follicle gets horny. I mean, erected.
Well, it's not erected because erected is like building.
It causes that.
It causes to be erected.
It causes erection.
It gets an erection.
Yes.
Got it. Horny hair.
The more you know.
Horny is more of a feeling, not necessarily a physical action.
Have you felt your hair when you get big goosebumps?
When I get a
pilus
erectus.
Pilus
Sounds like a Harry Potter spell. Pilus erectus.
That would be a Ron Weasley looking down going,
Harry, I've never felt these things before. I feel like we just started a fan fiction.
Oh my God. Oh, 50 Shades of Harry.
Maybe. How did we get here? You were calling me arrogant.
Yeah.
I mean.
And you were about to talk crap about Chicago.
People don't forget.
I was not. First of all, I would never talk.
I was just trying to.
I would like to go to Chicago.
I was just trying to instigate.
Hey, you want to go to Chicago? I'm going.
He's going.
I'm not taking you to the airport.
I want to be going there if you want to drive me to the airport. Maybe.
No, thank you.
Maybe you can catch a plane ride.
Same time.
My mom is all about like random ass people being like, "You need a place to come for the holidays? Come on by." She loves it.
I wish I would have known that.
She
It's too late now.
She's never met you, and she already she refers to you as like her son.
Yes.
That's just how it
sweet.
works. That's how my mom is.
Winning.
Yeah,
we're gonna go make a trip though.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, my mom is the mom's the type of person who would be like, oh, it's like what's so and so doing for, like, when I was younger, it'd be like a friend who's like, what are they doing for Thanksgiving? I'm like, I don't think they do Thanksgiving. She's like, well, guess who's coming by and having Thanksgiving with us?
My mom used to do that.
Yeah, that was it. She was like, yep. But
yeah, we're definitely.
Hi, Ryan's mom.
Yeah, she listens.
Please invite us to Chicago, but not
during the
next
winter.
week. Or whatever week.
Oh God, no, not during the winter.
Can't wait. She signed me up for a 5K.
In the wintertime or for Thanksgiving?
In the winter?
Like a turkey trot. Turkey trot. Yeah, so I gotta go do a 5K.
Oh.
It's fine. I'm training for a half
You're
marathon.
that family.
So it's fine. No, we're not.
No,
actually, not at all. My brother is. I have very recently become an enduro boy.
A long runner boy.
A long runner boy.
Are you gonna do the tiger trot? Did you see the little banner thing as you came up the hill? It's like December 4th.
No.
They run through South Pass, and I try to hit them with my truck because they, for some reason, run up my hill, and I'm trying to get out.
Why is it called a tiger trot?
It's because South Pasadena High School is like one of the major sponsors, and they're
the Tigers.
The Tigers.
Oh, Tigers.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
No, I'm not going to do that because I'm doing. My half is on the 12th.
Oh, this one's just a 5K. I don't think it's a marathon.
Where is your half? Because I think there's someone I've been working with at work who is doing a half on the 12th, and I think it's the same one.
It's in Oxnard.
Oh, maybe not.
Yours is in San Diego, right?
Maybe it is.
Or your friends? I thought you said.
I thought you said it was in San Diego. I might have maybe. I don't know.
I'm sure there's more than one going on.
On the 12th?
Yeah, for every whatever. I hate.
They're like every weekend.
They're always on Sundays. It's fucking
That's
bullshit.
Dumb.
They need to be.
Well,
on
the LA
Saturdays.
Marathon this time was during the time change, which
Still
I wonder
put
how
it on
that
a
affected people.
Sunday though.
Yeah, but more so, it was on a Sunday, which is bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like, I want to enjoy my day off. So now you're telling me,
that's your only day off.
Sundays are my only day off. 2, you're telling me now that I have to not do shit on Saturday because I need to do this goddamn run on a Sunday?
Yeah.
Early in the morning?
Yeah.
Fuck, that sucks.
Why don't you take the Monday off after? Oh. You can't, or you're choosing not to? Because I feel like you could.
I'm choosing not to because Mondays are usually a pretty loaded day for me.
Oh.
You gotta pay the bills, for that 2-bedroom place.
Well, that's what my sugar mom is for.
That's right.
No, but more so, it's because I've made a commitment to my clientes, and that's what we had agreed upon. And I'm not going to cancel it because I'm just like, I want to have a day off. My day off, I chose to do a stupid half marathon, so it's my own doing. I'm not going to punish them for it.
You should punish them by making them go cheer you on. Although it's fucking far.
Yeah, it's far.
I don't even want to drive that far.
Why? Yeah, why did you choose that one?
Because a friend of mine is doing it, and
it's also that or San Diego.
Long story short, I was kind of like had a little bit of like a falling out of doing CrossFit because I was kind of bored of it, and then I was doing something else, but I was just kind of like going through the motions, and she caught me at the perfect time where I was just like, fuck it, I'm in, and just signed up for it. I was like, guess you got somebody else to do it with you. So I just wanted something to train for. And I wrote up, so the other bigger part to it for why I want to do it is I have a program that I wrote up a couple years ago for an older client. And I kind of wanted to, I'm starting to work with more like marathon runners out of nowhere, or like endurance people. And so I wanted to, one, get a little bit of credibility back, since it's been quite a while since I've done one of those. So, now I can say I've done it very recently and trained for it, for my enduro people. 2, I had this program, that I kind of revisited and rewrote. And so it's also to kind of test a little bit of a theory that I have as it comes to, training for something like this. So I'm using myself as the experiment, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
I dig it. That's actually something I wanted to talk to you about today. I mean, whether it was on the podcast or not, like the runner boy thing. Because I've been doing the runner girl thing. Yeah. Because same, I was feeling burned out on like weightlifting in general. Not like necessarily like Olympic weightlifting, but just strength training. So I was like, I just started running
Hmm.
just to run. And I'm like, I felt the same way. I was like, you know what? Clients ask me about running programming all the time, and it's not my forte. So how else do you figure it out? But experiment on yourself.
Yeah.
So same Z's.
Yeah. So the interesting thing about it is, so like I was talking to one of my clients about it today, who's a runner, and so he's going to be like training for a marathon, but he's very much kind of the old school in the idea of like specific mileage, just like kind of like across the board. And so my entire outside of a couple very specific like kind of time trial ones. So I've done I've done a mile time trial that I've used and like repeated and kind of used for some metrics. A 5K and a 10K time trials. So those are like the only specific distances I've ran at all. Otherwise, everything has been, it's all a heart rate setup. It's all based on like a heart rate and then time duration. So time duration, it's the same thing, or duration. So like certain heart rates for certain distances, varying heart rates that we would run at. So kind of what I'd call like an aerobic, like a lactate endurance and a lactate clearance or lactate clearance. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And so like the times have changed for the most part. Yeah, that's kind of it. It's been a very interesting ride because actually I find that this has been significantly easier to manage without necessarily having to worry about trying to like get the distance that I needed where I wasn't ready. So yeah, I mean, for like to give you like an example. So like when I started this whole program, I maybe have done a couple like 1-2 mile runs like during quarantine just because I'm like I have nothing else to do. And so that was probably the extent of it before I started this program. Other than maybe like some like 800s or something like that, like repeats or within a workout. So, so for like today, for example, I have a 2-hour run tomorrow, and I needed to buy like just a belt so I could carry some water with me because I'm going to go out and run for 2 fucking hours. So stupid. I hate it.
Oh my god.
But for example, but I was like, I had to go run today anyway, like for my training. So I was like, I got some time. So I just ran to the store, picked up my shit, slapped it on, and then ran back. And so, which is weird to say, because like that would have been an insane concept for me. I don't even know what week I'm in.
Which one did you go to? Which store did you go to?
In Pasadena.
Yeah. Was that?
It's about 2 miles.
Is that on? Oh,
It's on Lake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lake and
It's across from Conrad's, whatever that cafe restaurant,
Lake and
right?
just above Colorado, right?
It's a couple blocks north.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's like right by the highway.
Yeah, I know exactly which one. Yeah, it's on the right hand side if you're coming down the street. Yeah.
If you're heading north, it's on the left.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, that's yeah. So it's like 2 mile run. So like I ran there and ran back.
Jesus.
Which was kind of weird to say. Like I'm like, who the fuck am I?
Yeah. No, I ask you that all the time. Every time you say, "Let's go for a run," or "I just got back from the run," I'm like, "The fuck are you?"
I'm training for a race. God. But anyway, the point is that I found that because I've done like an Olympic distance triathlon before, and kind of followed more of a traditional like running template from like distances. Yeah. Now that's not a huge distance, not 13 miles, so whatever. But but I found like adhering to like strict like mileage was really, really hard on me, just because I wasn't conditioned for it, and it didn't really like really prepare me prep me well building up. Right, I didn't build up well, but now that it's kind of like it's based off of like heart rate. At the very beginning, my times were super slow because I was trying to maintain like a very aerobic base or build an aerobic base. So given that my overall like pacing doesn't really matter necessarily, I was able to like speed up or slow down based on what my heart rate was saying, which inevitably made me actually run well and feel good afterwards, where, I would finish my runs being like, cool. Like, all right, I did some work. I feel pretty good. Like, I don't feel like I'm going to die. It kind of self-paced me. So even with like last week I did an hour and a half hill runs like around the Rose Bowl. Like, yeah, I mean, I was tired, but like I finished that off and I was like, I feel pretty good. I remember telling Marissa, I'm like, something's weird about like how I feel right now. It could have been the K-pop concert that was going on. That was just like, oh, it was the best. So I ran around the Rose Bowl last Saturday, and
is it BTS? Or?
No. If it was BTS, I mean, people would be rioting. My fencing girl knew exactly who it was, and I was just like straight out that.
Was it the girl K-pop group? Blackpink.
No, it wasn't Blackpink. That's another one where there'd be like fucking riots. Those are stadium shows, not in the park of Rose Bowl.
Oh, it was in the park.
It wasn't even in the Rose Bowl.
Got it.
Oh, I thought it was inside.
No, not that big. Big enough, but not that big. Joji. I know Joji was one of them. That was the only name that I recognized. Anyway, so I was like, okay, I got a long run. I'm like, just running around the Rose Bowl is like, I don't have to worry about traffic or anything like that. I'm like, I'll just do that. So like, I started to drive up there, and it was like I got stopped, and like this track like crazy, and the cop was like, he's like, concert's like this way, and I was like, I'm just here to run, and he was like confused by saying that. He's like, okay, I guess go this way. And he just like
carry on.
Yeah, he just kind of like moved the barricade and just like let me drive through. So now I'm like driving around like towards the back part where it's like artist entrance and all these other things. Like I'm pretty confident I'm not supposed to be here.
Yeah.
So like I had to like drive around and find somewhere to park, like up on the hill above it. So I was like running around, and I can hear like mic checks and like kind of prepping and stuff because it was early enough. Mm-hmm. And I like stopped and asked one of the people that like the guards that were like blocking the streets, and I was like, hey, I'm like, what's the concert going on? And she was like, yeah, it's like Asian artists. And I'm like, what does that mean?
Boy.
Wow.
And I said this to like the girl that I was working with tonight, and she was just like, oh wow.
It's Asian artists.
She was like, Asian artists. Huh. And I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? So like kept running, and then finally like ran into somebody else, and I was like, hey, what's this concert that's going on? She was like, it's like a bunch of like K-pop artists, and then some other like there were some other like bands that were performing as well. And I was like, cool, okay, now I kind of have an idea.
Now it's narrowed down.
But I will say, when I like would run down the hill and like run around, like start to run around the like the Rose Bowl itself, took those headphones off because I was getting anime music playing, and it was awesome. I was riding high like a Gundam. It was great.
Was it in the big grassy field?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it was very weird because I'm just like running around, and there's like people like obviously in concert wear.
Yeah.
Or like to go watch a bunch of artists, and it's like,
they had to see their Asian artists.
Well, to be honest, I did not see a lot of white people other than myself. It was very, very ethnically specific.
That's disappointing.
Around the Rose Bowl at that moment.
It's disappointing.
But it was just really funny. And but yeah, there's like a couple points where I was like, ooh, I'm like, oh shit, yes. I'm like, this is like 200 beats per minute. I'm like, let's rock. All of a sudden, I'm sprinting uphill to something I don't understand. I was like, I love it.
You got that DDR music going on in the background.
Oh, yes.
Hey, DDR. Man.
You DDR?
I mean, not anymore, but I did.
You want to? You want to go to the little Dave and Buster's and bust a move?
I was gonna say, I was like, wait, do you have one?
Oh, dude. When I was younger, a bunch of me and one of my other friends were trying to save up so we can buy like the actual metal pad.
The metal ones?
One.
Yes. Because both of us have competed in a DDR competition when we were younger.
Oh boy!
I had the soft pads.
So you're the guy that's like holding onto the handrails, yeah?
Yeah. If I was a fucking noob, no, I'm doing like spin moves and shit, bro. No joke. How what's the word that I want to use? I guess shamelessly good I was at fucking DDR. It's shameful now to go back and say this publicly, but boy, I was good.
I was never that good.
There's a skill though to it. Like I would be proud of it. I'd be like, yeah, man, people would watch me play.
Yes, dude. I mean, we made like fucking friends because it would be like the same nerds who would be sitting there like with our like roll of quarters or coins like ready to You know, we all had our special little coin that we put up on the screen to denote who was up next. So we like take it and slap it around and be like, oh yeah.
Oh my god.
I had a Canadian.
We do need to go do this now because I would like to see it.
Oh well, it's been quite a while, so I have no idea how good I am at this point. But I feel like
It'd probably take you like one round to get back into it.
Dude, I want to play.
Get back to you.
Dave and Buster's in Arcadia.
The last time I was at David Buster's, I waited in line.
Wait, there's one by you, right?
Yeah. There's one in Hollywood.
We can have CK go there after work. Then I can meet you guys there.
Go play DDR?
Yeah.
Sure. Dude, one of my
you know, I'd be down.
Dude, the guy that I used to play with, like, he was a chubby kid. He lost a bunch of weight playing DDR.
Yeah. I believe it, man.
It's like the original Zumba.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, fuck Zumba.
I would watch people play and like they'd be like dripping sweat.
Oh, dude, it was gross.
You know who played that a lot, or at least who I saw play that a lot? It's Filipino.
Yeah, not a lot of Filipinos where I grew up.
I saw a ton of.
It was like a mini golf place that had a DDR by my house. And there was not a lot of Filipinos that were playing it either.
The one
I did see quite a few white guys though.
The one on
and they were good.
It's a honky game for sure.
Golfland.
Yeah. They tore everything down from that. I drove by that. This weekend. No.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but okay.
So it was so they had mini golf, go-karts, batting
Mm-hmm.
cages, bumper boats, and inside they had mini golf, but a huge ass arcade. Huge.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's you used to go to. It's called Hollywood. Actually, I think it's called Hollywood Park. Was the name of like the place that we would go to,
like the racetrack
in Bellflower?
What? No, in Chicago.
Oh,
that was like the name of like the arcade.
Got it.
That had like mini golf and bumper carts and shit.
Got it. And there was like multiple Hollywood parks or whatever.
No, there's just one.
Oh,
yeah,
just one in Chicago.
There's only it was in Crestwood, Illinois. But yeah, Mercer and I went and played mini golf in the before times. And I was excited because in the distance, I was like, DDR. I'm like, hell yeah, I'm about to play this game. But it was one of the bullshit ones where it's at the angles. And I was like, this is not my game.
Oh, I hate those. I hate those ones.
And I remember, and I'm like, my muscle memory doesn't, I don't know these. I don't know.
I don't go in diagonals. I go left, right, up, down. Yeah. That's it.
A-B start.
That's
your life.
It. No diagonal shit.
That and Time Crisis. I wanted a Time Crisis machine so bad when I was younger.
I love Time Crisis.
That's the shit. That's the game.
I loved 1, but 2 is my favorite.
Three is where it's at because you get the little pedal that you can you step down on the pedal and you can duck under cover and shit.
You could do that with all of them. Yeah. I promise you, in 1 and 2, you use the pedal to duck under cover.
All right. I'll take your word for it.
Don't they still have them at like movie theaters?
Yes.
I think they do.
They have like Time Crisis 4 now.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
God, it's the best.
And instead of just a pistol, it's like a machine gunning.
Which I always thought was weird that they have like arcades at theaters. Because why?
To get the kids to spend more money there. It's for the kids.
I guess. I feel like it's like you play the game and then you like sneak into the next movie that you didn't pay for.
There's also that. You're giving away trade secrets there, CK.
Yeah, you can't be.
More you know.
AMC hates her for this one reason.
AMC hates this girl for one reason.
There was a specific DDR song that I ended up liking, and then
Butterfly.
Now it's on my gym playlist now. I forgot what it's called. What?
Butterfly.
Say it.
Butterfly.
Wait, sing it.
I'm not gonna.
I think that's what it's called. No. Is it called Butterfly? I thought this was like Sailor.
There's Castles in the Sky. That was a popular one.
There's Afrojack's.
Afrojack had a bunch. There's Captain Jack.
Yeah, Captain Jack had a
Captain
couple.
Jack. That's what.
Captain Jack.
Captain Jack. Yeah,
Back to the railroad track.
I'm not even joking. If any of my clients are listening to this, like that song is on the gym playlist that I play at work for this reason.
Left, right, left. This step.
Yep. Yeah, that's what it was. Captain Jack.
Forward march.
Jesus.
I was fucking obsessed with that song. I remember for Christmas. I wanted that thank God to a certain degree, my mom somehow managed to kind of dissuade me from getting into eating like electronic music because I could have been a real techno junkie for sure. Thank you, DDR. But I wanted the Captain Jack like disc set, but it was like UK, and this was like late 2000, like late 90s, early 2000s. So it was like, internet wasn't. I didn't know where to go to buy like Euro DJs.
Yeah.
Like mixes or CDs. So it was only on eBay that I can find it, and it was like $200.
Jesus.
To find. And I remember Mom being like, "I'm not buying you a CD, like a $200 CD."
Oh.
And I was like, "But Mom, I love Captain Jack.
I love this guy."
Yeah.
Oh, if only he had a Tower Records out there.
What'd you say?
I feel like if he would have had a Tower Records out there, they would have had it.
Maybe.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, like I love Europop, like 90s Europop. It's my jam.
Oh, but we're talking like
All
techno.
day.
This is like techno.
Yeah, I know. But like the Euro DJ, like I don't know. I think it's because of DDR.
So that's how I know about a bunch of artists. When I went to the Madonna concert, somebody opened up.
When did you go to a Madonna concert?
Years ago for the MDMA tour.
Oh.
It was awesome.
It's in our podcast.
One of the best concerts I've ever been to. Like,
nice.
Yeah, there's this girl that I was dating, and her dad was essentially like the set designer, or like set person for Madonna specifically for this tour. And she was like, "What are you doing tonight?" And I was like, "Nothing." She's like, "Want to go to a Madonna concert?" I was like, "Fuck yes, I do." So we were like, front row, like the frontest of row that you can be, where like people probably spent like 10 grand to get tickets, and we just walked into the front. And like it was like stage was just like right there. It was awesome. Oh my god, it was such a performance. It was like Cirque du Soleil. It was so good. Anyway, I feel like it was like a Paul Oakenfold or someone like in that time frame of like
Daniel Bedingfield, maybe, or Bedingfield, whatever.
No, man, it's killing me that I can't remember. I'm sure I can look it up, but I remember seeing this like DJ beforehand, and I was like bopping, kind of singing along, and the girl was like, who is this?" And I was like, "It's know it from DDR." I might know it from.
I know all the steps to this song.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there just like stepping left and right, looking like an asshole.
The Madonna comes
I
out.
want to know who
more
opened
steps.
for her.
I'm gonna see if I can look it up.
Yeah, it says Nero is what I'm getting from MTV.com. Nero to join Madonna on North American leg at MDNA tour.
The name doesn't sound right, but maybe.
DJ Dan Stevens and Joe Ray.
I have Solveig and Paul Oakenfold, but that was 98. That was 2012.
Benny Benassi?
No way.
No. It might have been Paul Oakenfold. Because like
it probably was. What's the song that he has again?
Let's see.
Ready, Steady, Go.
Yeah, that's right.
Starry-Eyed Surprise, Southern Sun.
Oh, Starry-Eyed Surprise.
Starry-Eyed Surprise.
Starry-Eyed Surprise. Yeah.
That's a good song. Ready, Steady, Go is another popular one. Old school shit.
What's
right
Paul
there.
Oakenfold doing now? Should get him on the podcast.
Yeah, I don't. He's probably still crushing it somewhere in like Germany.
True. Speaking of, who would be, outside of who you're thinking of getting on the show, who would be your like ideal person to interview, like on the podcast?
Like, who do we want?
Like, if I can interview anybody?
Yeah, that's like someone who's alive.
Keanu Reeves.
I guess who's like their child.
I agree, Keanu Reeves.
Vaya con Dios.
I don't speak
Point
Spanish.
Break.
I don't speak German.
Okay, Point Break, but all right.
Interesting. Anyway, Keanu Reeves. I have been a big fan of Keanu Reeves for quite a long time, and I stand by the fact that I was a fan of his before it was cool to be a fucking fan of his. So I'm calling out my non-poser card right now. And Marissa,
do you like Speed?
Can vouch for it. I like pretty much all of his movies, admittedly. I'm enough of a fanboy that I'm like, I'm pretty cool with most movies. Though I did.
What's that one Netflix movie that he made with the comedian?
Oh, Should Always Be My Maybe?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Where he plays himself and he's a fucking psychopath?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
That movie is the best. I'm not a huge fan of rom-coms, but Marissa kind of like, she was like, well, watch it. You might like it. I like Ali Wong.
Yeah.
So I was like, I like Ali Wong. So I'm like, I'm sure she's not going to be in something terrible. And I thought that was really good. And then especially when like the Keanu Reeves scene came in, I was like, what is happening
That
right
was
now?
hilarious. I could not stop laughing.
It was so good.
I could not stop laughing.
So, but there's actually a movie that I just kind of recently discovered that I have not seen. So I'm excited to watch, which is going to be, it's called A Scanner.
Lake House?
No, A Scanner Darkly. I've never seen it.
I've never even heard of that.
It's his animated, like semi-animated film.
Oh, okay.
But
what about you, E.T.?
Oh, definitely would.
I guess who was your like childhood like hero?
Who was
want to interview
my childhood hero?
Mm-hmm. Celebrity wise, like you can't pick a family member.
Oh, it would have been Kobe Bryant. But
okay,
obviously, right? Yeah.
Yeah. R.I.P.
Childhood. That's a different thing.
Yeah.
Okay, who would your childhood be?
My childhood? So it depends because I've had a couple. I would probably either, which would be cool too. Still, Stone Cold Steve Austin would be up there. You'd get a nice hell yeah from him.
Hell yeah.
Do you have the shirt and everything?
Austin 316, you fucking better believe it. With the skull with the blue like flames coming out of the eyes. With the middle finger on the back. Yes, I do have that shirt. Thank you.
By the way, that was the episode that we recorded that.
Oh yeah.
The audio just sucked.
Oh.
Yeah, it was all about wrestling.
Bummer.
We were deep into that.
It was so good. I'm gonna
you gotta redo it now.
I'm gonna get my friend Bill to call in because he knows a bunch about like wrestling. He'd be a really good, and he's funny, so it'd be a good one to have him on and just like bullshit about it. Yeah, so it would be like Stone Cold Steve Austin, and then probably like a little bit after it would be like Mike Myers. I was a big fan of his. I thoroughly enjoyed Austin Powers Goldmember and a whole lot of his skits from SNL.
Mike Myers was.
But then from like a sporting side, at that when I was younger, I was big into skateboarding. So also actually still would be pretty cool. Would be like a PJ Ladd or not PJ Ladd. PJ would be pretty cool, but Rodney Mullen. I would be very intrigued to have a nice conversation with him. Apparently he's weird as fuck, but he's just a goofy dude.
Yeah.
But hey, he did a TED Talk, so that's pretty interesting.
Yeah. One step down will be us.
Sure.
It's good to go.
I think it was a TEDx, so it's not even like the real TED Talk.
Oh, see, even better. It's half a step down to us now.
What about you?
Who would you have coffee with?
Well, besides Kobe Bryant, who would you have chosen?
Besides Kobe Bryant? From my childhood or now?
Choosing someone who's alive currently.
Okay, so from now.
No, from your childhood who's still alive now.
Oh, I didn't want to talk to anybody in my childhood that's
Really? There's nobody? That like still you kind of like admire them as a person?
You've lost respect for all people that you enjoyed as a kid?
Pretty much.
How was that even possible?
Because Kobe Bryant took the place and filled the void all around.
For everybody?
For everybody. Now there's just a dark hole.
I feel...
Oh, damn it. Nope, he's gone too. Fuck.
Everybody I've ever
There's
known
no,
and
like,
loved
musicians
is dead.
or anything?
Captain Jack?
No, God, no.
He's dead, so it doesn't work.
Oh, that wouldn't work either. Fuck.
Actors? Nobody?
No, I don't. I mean, Keanu Reeves, but
You weren't really like a fan of him when you were a kid, necessarily.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think. Who's alive now that I was a fan of?
Your childhood was not this depraved. There's no way that you're going to struggle.
I know.
Well, okay, so
but
that's not fair, right? Because I like the Power Rangers,
like
but I wouldn't want to sit down and interview them. Like I don't.
What? I would love to.
You wouldn't. Amy Jo Johnson. You wouldn't.
Amy Jo Johnson could be on our podcast.
I would take her to dinner. I wouldn't interview her.
She is a married woman. How dare you?
I didn't say I would do anything with. Jesus Christ!
What makes you think she wants to do stuff with you? She's a married woman. How dare you? How dare you be so presumptuous?
Jesus Christ!
Don't use the Lord's name in vain.
I don't believe.
Flying spaghetti monster all day.
Spaghetti monster.
Hail Satan.
Oh my God.
Satan was the podcast title.
You like that?
I was gonna say Tommy Lasorda, but Tommy Lasorda's gone.
What about Tommy Wiseau?
Yeah.
Who?
Tommy Wiseau.
The fuck is that?
From The Room?
Who?
You know what Tommy Wiseau? The guy like from the guy from The Room? You ever see the movie The Disaster Artist?
The movie? No.
Seriously? Holy shit. So okay. So you have to watch the movie The Room. It's the Tommy Wiseau, this guy, like this dude who doesn't like, nobody knows anything about this guy, and he somehow had like millions and millions of dollars to produce, like self-fund and produce this movie, his own like movie that he like starred in and wrote and all this shit. That is a terrible film, like absolutely terrible. Like it's meme worthy bad. And like, for just random example, so like it's very commonplace even today where people would rent cameras because like to record a movie is like, they're like $100,000.
Yeah, they're expensive as fuck.
He bought two, and he bought two cameras. One was like a digital and one was a film. And so and he made this rig to shoot both of them at the exact same time.
Oh my God.
For the movie that he shot. And so he had to technically hire two separate crews to run these cameras. Like, it's wild. Anyway, James Franco did a movie called The Disaster Artist, that is essentially the tellings of the creation of the movie The Room, and it's fucking hilarious. It's so good. You got to watch it.
The Room.
I've never even heard of it.
I don't how. That's amazing to me. I would love to interview Tommy Wiseau because he's like super weird and nobody knows anything about him. Like, he's literally a fucking mystery.
Is he alive still?
Yes.
Figure it out. See if you can contact him.
I would love to. I don't even know what I would ask him. I would just be in awe of just his existence.
I'm still trying to think who I would want to sit down with in my childhood.
I'm stalling so hard for you to figure out one goddamn name.
I don't understand how you can't figure something out. Like, there's
being
nobody now that like you are like interested in as like a celebrity or like person who has any kind of variety.
I don't have the admiration for celebrities.
You don't have to be like
not admiration,
fanatic.
but like you're like this is someone who's cool. You're like, I would like to be friends with them in real life.
I like this movie. I'd like to talk to them.
Yeah,
or a band,
or I like the work that they do.
Music.
Dave Grohl.
Perfect.
Cool.
Big Foo Fighters fan. I love it. You can do that. Huh?
Who?
Foo Fighters?
Who are they?
Foo Fighters.
Who are the Foo Fighters?
Yeah.
They're. I was gonna make a joke that I'm definitely not gonna say. They're the offspring.
I got it. Eminem.
Really?
I would actually like to sit down. I would sit down with Eminem.
Which Eminem? Like
Marshall Mathers, LP, Slim Shady, the real Slim Shady, not the now Eminem.
No, but like, you know, what's the one with like him in front of the curtains? What album is that?
Oh, Relapse.
No.
Pharmacy or.
No, it's like him standing on stage in front of like the big red curtains. It's just like, but the point that I'm getting at is that like, do you want like the early
do
one?
Do I want drugged out angry Eminem?
Are we talking like D12 Eminem?
I'm talking about like, I would like to sit with him now and discuss the timeline that he went through. I think that'd be fun.
Okay. All right.
That'd be cool.
I appreciate Eminem because he can make jokes about himself.
Yeah.
Like, did you ever see the movie The Interview?
Oh my God, I love that.
Interview. With James Franco?
It's another James Franco movie. Oh,
yeah, it is. Yeah.
It's like James Franco and Seth Rogen, and they go and interview Kim Jong-un.
Yes.
Yeah. So the like opening scene with that is James Franco interviewing Eminem, and he comes out as gay. And he's like, I've been dropping like gay hints in all of my music for years. He's like, you guys just never picked up. And it's like, oh my God, Eminem's gay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
I remember.
That scene's
That's
so
a good
funny.
one.
Yeah.
Okay, now that we've stalled a long time, your turn.
What if I did the same thing? I was like, I don't have one.
I'd hit end, close my computer, and be like, well, I guess we're done.
So music-wise, Gwen Stefani.
Okay.
And it's funny. I wasn't even thinking like athlete-wise until you said it. And then because you said skateboarding, I was a huge like Tony Hawk fan growing up. So probably Tony Hawk, and then because I would choose her character a lot in his skateboarding game, Elisa Steamer.
Oh, okay.
She was like a female skateboarder.
She was a pioneer when it came to one of the very first female skateboarders, professional skateboarders.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Who else? That's what comes to mind right now.
Another one for me would be Francesco Totti. He's a Italian footballer.
Okay.
Big fan.
Nice.
Everyone hated him. I loved him.
Oh.
Cool.
So.
Are you big into
Is he the guy that
football,
headbutted people?
soccer?
Oh no, that was Zidane.
No, that was Zinedine Zidane.
The Frenchie.
The Frenchie who gets a red card on his last game where Italy wins anyway. Suck it, France.
Yeah, suck it, France.
Did you play soccer growing up?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. This tracks then for me now. I was like, that makes sense.
Yeah, I was a big soccer fan. Wasn't any good.
Soccer. I used to like it a lot.
I liked indoor more.
Yeah. I watched the World Cup with you at Dave & Buster's in Arcadia.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys play DDR?
We did not.
What's the point?
The
I'm
World
pretty
Cup.
sure we sat at the bar.
The World Cup and 3 beers.
Trey Bears.
Trey Bears.
Which World Cup?
Oh fuck.
2013? 14.
They're on the World Cup's in the off year of. No, it's the same. No, yeah, it's the off year of the Olympics, isn't it? I think.
Then 15?
Can't remember.
Because
I feel like it was an even year.
It's every 2 years. No, it's every 4 years.
The World Cup is every 4 years. Yeah.
I don't remember.
I'm
pretty sure it's an even. It's on an.
Yeah,
even
I think
year.
it's an even number.
I don't know.
So it'd been like I think 12.
No, because I didn't meet her till 13.
16.
So it would have to be. Yeah, would have to have been 16 or 14. I think it was 14.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it was 14.
Yeah, I was more of a fan of indoor soccer. I enjoyed that a lot more. We used to have this Brazilian coach, Claudio, who we would like practice with like futsal, another type of soccer, another type of ball game. You familiar at all either?
I've heard of it, but I don't know the difference. Like, I don't know, like, what it would actually look like.
Sack?
How dare you degrade hacky sack? No, futsal is it's soccer, but it's a smaller ball, and it also is like it's like a foam ball, so it doesn't bounce. So it's like so like indoor soccer, smaller field, like faster gameplay. Futsal is like indoor soccer in the sense of like the speed, but the technicality of how you have to like move in position from like a skill side is like significantly higher. So if you ever watch like the when like Ronaldinho was like really popular, and you're seeing like the Nike commercials, or if you remember the Jogo Bonito like videos and stuff, that's a lot of like him like on his street stuff when you like there's a lot of like futsal. So that's like Brazilians play futsal a lot.
Okay.
For style points.
Well, it's a crazy skill.
Yeah.
It was like Claudio is this like old, like, well, I was young, so I have no idea how old he was, but to me, he was an older guy.
Probably like 25.
No. I mean, I would honestly guess he was probably in his like 40s or 50s at some point in time. But dude would like the ball would like just not leave his foot. It made no sense to me how good he was, and he was like he's a bigger guy, kind of Dr. Robotnik style body, but he would like stand there and just like he would literally just from a standing position like cock his leg back and kick it, and it would just like explode off of his foot. And I remember like being like as we were younger, just being like, oh my god, like ducking, because we're like, holy shit, like this ball's coming so fast.
Yeah,
how are you kicking so hard? And we're like staying there, like putting all of our like 1,000% effort into one kick, and it's just like, boop.
Yep, boop, just splutters down.
Well, this random ass Brazilian dude is like shooting ICBMs off of his foot. It was awesome. And he would always make us do push-ups. 10 push-ups. Push-ups.
Oh man, that's something that I always wish I could do, like juggle a soccer ball. Just can't do it.
Still time.
I don't have the patience for it either.
Oh, still time.
There's still time though.
Well, true.
You know what's holding you back?
You.
Okay, coach. I'll go do my push-ups now.
I'm not gonna make you do push-ups.
Just be better than you were yesterday.
You know,
yeah.
CK, life is like an arrow. And it's pulling you back only
Oh,
because
geez.
you're going to shoot forward.
You're gonna fly.
Thanks, Yoda.
You can thank some random Instagram influencer for that, okay? Up next, I'm going to get some geometric tattoo on my chest.
Oh boy.
Can't wait. Look, I'm an influencer now. Wait, are we technically influencers because of the podcast? Does that work? Are we influencing anybody?
Is our intention to influence?
I feel like you're more an influencer as a coach than you are as a, well, I mean, people get your attention here, but I think you have a wider reach as a coach over your 10 years.
You have a long wingspan.
My wingspan.
Mm-hmm. 40 states.
40 states?
Yeah.
That my wingspan covers?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. You know,
I think I'm just guessing what the other upper northeast has.
The Midwest?
No, the Northeast.
The Pacific Northwest? Oh, Northeast.
The Northeast, yeah.
I
said it right the first time.
I want to go to Maine. This is kind of off, but I really want to go to Maine.
Why?
For lobsters?
Yes.
Ooh,
I want lobsters. I want some clam chowder. I don't think they talk like that, but
they
I
do.
would like. No,
we're gonna make them talk like that.
I don't. What? How did?
We're gonna make them talk like that.
Oh, no, I don't want to. I don't want to degrade Maine with a Boston accent.
Disappointed in you.
Well, just to the.
They don't talk like that in Rhode Island either.
Sure.
Quick question, Ryan. Can you say Chicago? Like, how do you say it?
Well, see, now that you've
You
told
prepped
me,
him.
Now you've prepped me. I'm going to say it one way. You got to catch it. I said Chicago.
Oh, so you do say it the way that
Normal
we say
people
it.
say it.
Chicago?
Yeah. So it depends. I very, very rarely have I ever heard anybody go Chicago. That I've heard I'm pretty sure I can name one person, and it was like the maintenance dude to Marissa's apartment. He'd be like, "Oh yeah, Chicago,"
and he only does it on the episodes to make fun of it.
Who, me?
Yeah, you. We're like, "Oh yeah, Chicago."
Yeah.
But
then there is more people, though it seems to be more of like the Spanish speakers that I would hear say Chicago.
Oh,
with like a CH.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, Chicago is how I usually a little bit of that drawn out sometimes.
Hey, CK, how do you say the famous phrase from Minnesota?
No, I'm not going to say it.
Come on.
I don't know.
Come
I don't
on.
want to offend anybody.
What?
Come on.
A land of 1,000 lakes?
No.
Is that Minnesota?
No, I'm not going to say it in the recording.
Oh.
Because it'll be
Jamaican.
immortalized.
Yeah, I get it. It'll be Jamaican. I got you.
Jamaican, you put a little Creole flair onto it?
He swears it sounds Jamaican.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Just say it.
I'm not going to say it because I don't want it to be recorded.
I've said some wild shit on this already.
Oh my god.
I'm over here talking about platinum gays. Like you can.
Come on.
No, I'm very bad at doing accents of.
Okay, well, don't do
places.
the accent. What is the phrase?
Oh, it's not the same without
Oh,
accent.
Don't you know?
Oh, don't you know?
Yeah,
Like
now I want CK to do it.
No.
Hold on, I gotta think of like.
No, because now I'm thinking too hard about it.
I gotta think about how do you.
He thinks the way I say it sounds Jamaican, if it helps.
I don't even know what that would. I can't pull. I can't.
If
pull
she
a
says
Jamaican
it,
accent.
if she says it, you'd be like, yeah.
But don't being like don't you know is kind of like I could see that in like Wisconsin, like Minnesota,
Yeah.
like maybe even like Iowa to a certain degree.
Yeah.
So
I just wanted to say it.
but why is that a Minnesota thing?
I try to do it as like a Minnesota accent, but like I said, I'm horrible at any accent. Like can't even do British.
Well, so I feel like the Minnesota accent is like it's not so much like a specific accent. It's more so like how certain words are said.
Yeah.
Like, so like a friend of mine will say shit like a bag. And you're like,
yeah,
oh, yeah,
her bag.
Yeah, you're like, oh yeah, I got threw my like shoes into the bag. And you're like, what?
Yeah.
It was a bag.
Nope. It's bag.
Or Yeah, like that's where you get like some of the weird intricacies in words where it's like pillow versus pillow, milk instead of milk.
Yeah.
Or mulk. So I've heard once.
You heard
Oh,
milk?
I've not heard that.
Never heard milk. I've heard milk.
Yeah, I heard milk.
Yeah. Pillow. St. Louis got some weird shit.
Does it?
Oh, I love pooping.
Like what?
I love pooping on St. Louis. I'm trying to think of a good one. So the one thing that I've heard a bunch of people say, or several people say, but I don't know if this is necessarily a St. Louis thing or just some of the people that I know there. But instead of like mastacholi, I've heard muscacholi, which is very confusing to me because there's added letters into that.
I love mastacholi.
Yeah, I mean it's just pasta.
Yeah.
It's just a style of pasta. I had this argument the other day because someone's like, "Ooh, I love spaghetti," and I was like, because I was like, what type of pasta do I want to buy? I'm like farfalle, like penne. And they're like, oh, spaghetti, get spaghetti. Spaghetti's awesome. I'm like, they're all the same thing. They're just different shapes. They're just vessels for sauce.
They're all spaghetti.
Are they stuffed or not stuffed?
Yeah. They're all the same. I mean, they're all the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm so bad at it. Nope.
All right.
People are gonna hate on me if I say it because I'm horrible at accents.
I know.
Are they gonna hate on you for it? Or are they gonna laugh with you?
That's the fun part about it. A
think
lot of
they'll
people
laugh
suck at
with you.
accents.
Don't I know? I can't even do it right now.
No, I don't.
I'm like trying to tone it down.
No,
so.
that's not Jamaican.
What?
That's like
Thank you. Ryan.
That's like stereotype like housewife type. Like Johnny Boy. I don't know where I was going with that. Johnny Boy.
What?
I don't know. I was gonna make a comment, but whatever. See, we say dumb shit on here all the time.
Don't you know?
Don't you know?
See, but when he tells the story, he makes it sound like I sounded super Jamaican.
So like a Rasta.
First of all, if I would have just brought up the story and asked Elise and my mom, they would have said the exact same thing. Because they were there when you tried it.
They were there, and your mom was dying.
She could not stop crying.
Is her like Rasta, don't you know, as good as Chet Hanks's like Rasta impersonations? Is this a little too deep internet for both of you?
I don't know who the fuck Chet Hanks is.
I don't know who Chet Hanks is.
It's Tom Hanks' son. White Boy Summer?
The good-looking one or the not good-looking one?
The one that's
the
Chet
one that's
Hanks?
acting or not acting?
I don't think he's an actor.
Then no, I don't know.
It's the only son I know of him is Colin Hanks. That's
Yeah,
what you're
I know
talking
that
about.
No.
E.T.
Nope, Chet Hanks.
I don't know that one.
Well, look it up. He's got some real fun videos. And came out with this like it was like during like I think it was like either right before quarantine or like as quarantine was happening. And amid, some high racial tensions in the United States, comes out this fucking shirt that's just like White Boy Summer, and everyone's like, we all know what you meant, but really bad timing.
Yikes.
But yeah, anyway, he does all these like weird, like all these like Jamaican accents, and it's awesome. Also, Andrew Santino does some like real good ones as well.
I wish that's that's a party trick that I wish I could do well. It's like accents.
Oh, but. I was like specifically like a Rastafarian accent.
Specifically Rastafarian.
Specifically that.
Or Jamaican accent.
Actually, specifically like a Chicago accent. No, but just like any in general, like Australian, British.
The hard part is like Australian and British are so close. Now everybody that I say that to is gonna be like, "Fuck you!" No, they're not. That are from Australia or Britain.
Yeah,
but they're like, I mean, Australia's they're Brits. Like at the end of the day, to a
They're
certain
part of the
degree.
Commonwealth, right?
Yes.
They still are, but they're also like a bunch of the the prisoners that they kind of like kicked out.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Former Brits, expats, if you will.
Yeah. Forced expats. Yeah.
But the accent, I mean, sounds different. Like when you hear them side by side, but there's like a lot of very commonalities. So like whenever I can usually go like a couple sentences into like Australian, and then it just will just slowly shift into British. I do always do a terrible job at it.
I can never nail Australian. I can do British, but I can't.
Yeah, I have to like hear it a little bit. I don't hear it enough. Like after I talk to like my coach, I'm usually pretty good.
I actually had my English accent challenged by Americans after I practiced it with English people, and it was funny because I was with an English person when I was doing my English accent, and the American goes, "That's Australian," and the English person goes, "No, it's not. It's clearly British." And he goes, "How would you know?" And he goes, "I'm British. I'm probably the only one that can verify this statement."
I can agree. Here, here. And he threw his wig on the ground.
He did, yeah. A lot of powder came out.
Threw his wig on the ground, splashed some tea in his face.
No. Save the tea. They don't. We throw the tea.
We throw the tea. That's true.
May have thrown a crumpet or two.
I tried milk in my tea for the first time.
How'd you like that?
Don't.
You don't like
Fun
it?
fact, I do not enjoy.
What about milk teas? Like boba milk teas.
That sounds good.
Okay.
But like
if you did like a regular.
When they give you like a little cream.
Yeah, you do like a black tea with like a little splash of milk. Yeah. Now there's the argument: is it the milk first and then the tea, or does you do the tea and then the milk? You know, up for interpretation depending on how you want to talk about it. Yeah. But I did not enjoy it. So anyway, I am a pure black tea person.
You're anti-milk in your tea.
But you do like milk tea.
I do like milk tea.
Yeah.
That's a luxury that I have to like time out. Like when I'm gonna have it because I'm fairly lactose intolerant. So I have to be careful when I have that. But fuck, I love milk tea. It's super. There's a Thai place by me that I thoroughly enjoy theirs, and it's like I'll like drink whenever we go get the Thai food, I'll start to drink it when I like on my way home, which is fairly close to where I live, so it's a nice walk. So that way, by the time I get into my apartment, I can essentially get rid of it at the same time.
Nice. Nice. Easy in, easy out.
Yeah. It's not as fun. Not as fun on the second half, but going in, phenomenal.
You know,
10 out of 10 recommend.
That's all that matters. That's all that matters. Thai food sounds good right now, actually.
Thai food is good. Man, that sounds good now. Like,
I need to go to bed.
Thai food now.
Yeah, you do have to go to bed.
I gotta get up early and go fucking run.
Mm-hmm. 2 hours.
2 hours, baby.
2 hours.
Are you running there in Pasadena or?
Yeah, I'm gonna run with a local running group.
Oh, the
Pasadena pub runners?
Yeah. No.
Did you say what?
You said the pub runners?
The Pasadena pub run people?
No, any of the Flyers?
What? No.
You're not running the Flyers?
No.
Who are you running with?
No one. Actually, it doesn't matter. I can actually say it because I'm not going to be running with them anymore. The Pacers. Pasadena
Pacers. I was close. I said Flyers.
This will come out after I do my run. So, unlike, so, like etiquette wise, right? When you talk about like putting shit out onto the internet and into the world, generally speaking, you want to try and speak a little more vaguely about, you know, like where you are and like certain things, right?
Nah.
I was playing games with Brian, and he's like, so, and now, by the way, this is live stuff where people are watching.
It's also Brian.
I know.
This is Twitch?
Yeah, this is on Twitch. And so he was like, hey, we're going to go to, like, so are you still going here tonight? He's like, because you say you're going to go at this time. We were going to go to this place afterwards. Like, do you still want to go? And I was like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, do not say where we're about to be. And he's like, well, I don't care. I'm like, I do. You're talking about me.
Yeah.
I'm like, look, nobody's watching, which is fine. But like the point of the matter is like you are telling people where you are going to be live, like literally later on. Like that's just not good etiquette.
It's just
to have.
asking for bad things.
Yes. That's legitimately asking for a problem.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you gotta keep some level of privacy.
I'm gonna get him to spit out his debit card information.
Dude, he probably will. Look, like so we play like Dead by Daylight a lot. And there's like actually some like weird security thing going on. So like they're getting like people like streamers are getting like DDoSed.
Really?
Yeah, and like their information's getting leaked, and like people have already been like swatted because of it.
Oh shit!
And so I was telling Brian about that, and he was like, "I don't even know what any of this shit is." I was like, "One, you should.
You should, yeah."
And I was
you're
like,
gonna be on Twitch.
And I was like, "2, this is what it means." And I was like, "This is also why you don't want people to have like any fucking clue
where
like,
you live,
or like be able to try and figure it out because like if they do, shit like that happens." or can happen.
Yeah.
And like that's the last thing you want to deal with is your door getting fucking kicked in with a SWAT team because they think there's a hostage going on.
Yeah.
It's wild. The internet is a fucking wild place.
I can't believe it still happens. That's what's insane to me. Is that shit still happens.
Yeah, dude, it like the Marissa's brother got swatted.
I remember you told me that story.
Oh.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Fucking like I have no idea. They have no idea who it was, as far as I'm aware. Yeah, fucking police like kicking down doors.
So dumb.
Jeez. That's wild.
Also, yeah, I won't tell the other one, but the other one's fucking insane.
Yeah.
I'll tell you off because it's funny. I mean, it's funny now that everything's fine. Been like nothing bad happened, but yeah, it's a crazy story. All right. With that being said, I need to wrap this up so I can go to bed. CK, anything else you wanted to like chat about? You want to shout anything out?
No. I mean, no. If people have questions for me, if I'm ever on here again, I'll answer them. But
when
I don't think anyone ever has questions for me.
Considering we're calling these new episodes with you the Rec Room.
Oh, is that what it is now?
Well, it's R-E and C-K.
I like it.
Perfect.
I thought it was Rec House before. Rec Room
okay,
works.
so I'm sorry.
Better.
Excuse me.
Rec Room.
The Wrecking Ball.
Rec Room episode 1.
Yeah, Rec Room episode 1.
All right, I get behind that.
Oh, we should have had a better intro then. If this is like pre-episode 1.
Rec Room.
All right. I mean, we could just record it.
Now we're just getting bullied on our own podcast.
That's fine. Whatever.
God.
It's usually how it is.
Well, I mean, if it was going to be the real legit number 1, I could have had a better intro. I don't know.
Okay. Well, okay. Hold on. We'll do something. So don't leave.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Eric, where can people find us?
You guys can find us on our Instagram at another_rep_podcast, or you can email us at anotherreppodcast@gmail.com.
And you can find us wherever you listen to podcasts, except for Spotify currently at the moment, but apparently that'll be fixed.
We're coming for you, Spotify.
Hopefully by the time this comes out.
You bastards.
And you can find me occasionally streaming on Twitch and probably find out where Brian lives.
Yeah, probably.
And
or where he's going to be.
Or where he might be that night.
Yeah.
So enjoy that.
Yeah.
And hit up the hotline if you got any questions. Bye.
Bye.
Like it bling.